with GoDaddy.
My heart kind of went faster and slower and faster
Hello.
Here we are. Hello.
Hello, hello. How are you? How are you?
I'm
Thank
doing
you for
great.
those of you who are coming in. Thank you, Sam, for joining my podcast this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome saxophonist Sam Rucker.
Hi, everybody. IG World.
Ooh, his heart is high. I hope you're staying cool where you're at.
It's a little difficult. I'm in Virginia, and it's like it's in the 90s, but
Yeah,
no.
just make sure you stay by the AC all day, every day.
There you go.
Because I'm in New York and the heat is just beating me. I'm
Yeah.
not winning the battle.
Listen, I'm not opposed to ice cream and popsicles and Italian ice and all that stuff neither. So
Mhm. All right, let's get started. What made you get into music?
well, I think it really came natural. I think it's a God-given gift and a call that God had placed on my life, even before I was born. So growing up, I grew up in a house where music was always playing. My dad was always listening to Grover Washington Jr. or David Sanborn, and my mom was always listening to Gerald Albright or all the Motown greats. So I grew up, in a family that appreciated music, and it was always playing, always listening. So it really, it wasn't a decision, it just was natural. It just happened.
Mm-hmm. So, when you was younger, was the saxophone the first instrument that you ever played?
That's a good question. So I'll say yes. We had a piano in the house, but I didn't really grow to appreciate that until a little bit later on. When I was a kid in elementary school and they wanted us to choose the band instrument, I really wanted to play the trumpet. But when I picked it up and blew in it, nothing happened. So I picked up the sax and blew in that, and it hummed. So that's how I picked it.
Hmm. And the saxophone is one of my favorite instruments of all time. It's like that smooth jazz just makes you relax, make you kick your feet up when you have a long day at work, and make you enjoy a great meal. And speaking of a great meal, I see that you did you performed at events or where they were selling great meals where you had a chef. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I'm real excited to announce what I call the Imposition Dinner Concert Tour. And so what this is I have partnered with a chef. His name is Chef Asar Ariank, and he's an amazing chef. He really specializes in Caribbean type dishes because his family's from the Caribbean, but he's just phenomenal. And so he and I have teamed up together to do a tour, a series of dinner concerts where first you have the meal. He does a little demonstration, with cooking and so forth. And then I do the concert, and the concert is called Imposition because in support of my current single, which is called Imposition. And then also that's the theme of the show. So the show is about imposition, which means how to get yourself in position to live your best life now. And so we really feel like we're making deposits into people, musically, but also just trying to help people see a better side of life and perhaps maybe even overcome some challenges.
No, oh yes, and that's the one thing about music. Like, if you hear music, the title of the music is based on a lesson. Like, telling somebody what to do to be successful in life, to have peace, and to not lead you in the wrong way, and to have the right people around you.
That's right. That is exactly. I don't want to spoil. You know, you got to come to the concert to really see everything. But that's exactly what it is. It's those basic principles that are tried and true that we know help us get our lives in a good position. And really, that is like the foundation of my music. You know, all of my music has that,
Mhm.
and it's it's about positive energy, and it's about making somebody feel good or encouraged or
Yes.
inspired in some way. And so
Hmm.
it really comes together well with this dinner concert series. It's very unique.
Hmm. And speaking of positive vibes, like, in my own opinion, Sam, the saxophone is, like, the main instrument that, like, keeps the positive energy, that, if you're going through a life, you're having a bad day, and you just gotta, like, turn some jazz on, listen to the saxophone. It's like, have it's like, turn, like, your bad day into, like, a mellow evening, have a mellow feeling.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I agree, man. It can be soothing. A style like mine, I grew up in the hip hop era, in the '80s, and so my music has that beat to it too. You know, you're gonna nod your head, you can
Uh-huh.
relax or you can groove. So it really can take the whole gamut. Uh, but all in the positive. You know, if you look at the titles of the songs, you see that is the theme. To
Yes.
feed the spirit. With this tour,
Yeah.
we say we're feeding your body and we're feeding your spirit.
Mm-hmm. And the imposition tour. Tell us your experience about that.
Well, it is something very unique, because you're getting all of your senses just dazzled. We're hitting all the senses. We're hitting taste, we're hitting touch, we're hitting hearing, we're hitting visual. It's all of your senses, and it is an experience like no other. You can go to a restaurant and see somebody perform. That's normal, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the way that we're doing this, where you have an exceptional meal, an upscale meal that you can't get well, you know, along with a phenomenal show that's not just about the music, but it's about you think about your life, making you think about
Mm-hmm.
your perspective on your situations, even your
Yes.
it's making you think about your challenges differently. So it really is an experience that's different than what you're used to, in contemporary jazz anyway.
Uh-huh. When you listen to that saxophone, like, people need to, like, find some time to, like, think about the next step in life.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely,
think
absolutely.
about what they're gonna do tomorrow.
Mhm.
Don't doubt yourself.
That's right. That's right. Music has a spirit behind it, and it's going to make you feel something. It
Hmm.
could go either way. It could be positive or negative. And so with my
Hmm.
music, my aim is that experience that you get and the feeling that you get from it is always in a positive direction.
Uh-huh. Their music is also a teacher too.
Yeah, you said a what?
A teacher, a teacher.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. Music is first of all, the thing I like about it most is that it's universal, right? So it's a universal language. You know, you could take two people that can't communicate with words, but we can communicate with both of them through music, and they can both come away with the same, with the same message. Matter of fact, my album before last is called "Tell You Something" for that reason, because I believe music speaks to you, and it says something, that even goes further than words.
Hmm. And speaking of tell you something, when did you put out that single and the album too?
Yeah, so "Tell You Something" was released in 2015. Um, that was I had the opportunity to work with the legendary Norman Connors on that album. Norman Connors is an R&B producer, legendary R&B producer, and I got a chance to work with a number of legendary artists like Bobby Lau and Tom Brown, Allison Williams, just a host of different legends who I had just seen on records, you know, in the past, you know. And it was a really good experience doing the Tell You Something album. I did a couple classic R&B covers on that album. You know, since I was working for Norman, you know, he's an R&B producer, and so it made sense to do some R&B covers. And you know, it was a great experience. It did real well. With that album, that was my first. You know, my songs off of that album was the first time I had a song placed in the Billboard Top 30, and so that was exciting. You know, but it was great. You know, yeah.
And going back to the In Position tour, which places have you performed at so far?
Okay.
Cities,
Yep.
states, countries?
So we started the In Position tour last month in June, and we're starting in Richmond, Virginia. We have 6 shows in Richmond. They're all sold out, so we have a couple more in Richmond this month, a couple in Richmond next month. Then we're hitting Newport News, Virginia. Then we're hitting Columbia, South Carolina in October. We are also hitting Long Island, New York in October. And we are hitting, I believe, Charlotte, North Carolina in November, if I'm not mistaken. So, and also actually Atlanta. I don't have the date on Atlanta yet, but what we're trying to do is really hit the, especially the southern, East Coast, you know, as we go into the winter. We'll also be doing Silver Spring, Maryland, before the end of the year too. You gotta hit samrucker.com and follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, so you can see the updates as the tickets come on sale for these various cities.
And make sure, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys purchase your tickets as soon as possible.
Yeah, you know, I'm excited that the shows have been selling out fast. You know, and one thing about the In Position Dinner Concert Tour is that we want it to be an exclusive event, you know, and you can't do exclusive with masses of people, right? So the seating is intentionally kept limited. It's limited seating, you know, because it's special, you know, and we want to keep, you know, a close, you know, a sense that we want to be, you know, in the audience with people and so forth. And so there is limited number of seating at all of the locations. And so you always have to get your tickets quick for whichever city you're planning to come.
Oh, absolutely. How long is this tour for? For 5 months?
Man, you know what? Here's the thing. Every time I think I know that, it changes. So I believe that this tour might go on a lot longer than we think, you know.
So it will end in 2023, correct?
Man, I think this tour might last through 2024, you know.
That's a good thing. That's great.
Yeah, honestly, as I'm looking at it, because, you know, on the calendar right now, we're hitting a lot of the major East Coast states, East Coast cities. But we got to hit the West, the Midwest. We got to hit the whole country. And so, and because it's not just me, an artist going somewhere to perform, it's also a chef and a culinary staff, right? So we have to have some requirements with venues where he has a commercial kitchen to do his, you know, to really prepare what he needs to prepare. So, you know, so it takes a little bit more care in the selection of the venues, and you know, and we're planning on hitting, you know, every major city in the country. So I foresee this being, you know, well into 2024.
And you know, hopefully, I'll be able to attend your show, Sam.
What city are you in?
New York.
Oh, well, you got to be looking now. Then I got to hit you. You look for the. So I know it's Long Island. We're in Long Island, New York. You gotta just hit the site back. I was trying to think what the date was. I think it's either October 22nd or sometime in November, but it's coming up pretty soon. Tickets are not on sale yet, so I would definitely hit you up and make sure that you are at the show. I'm not gonna let you miss
I'll definitely be there.
it.
Okay, and speaking of you playing the saxophone, which famous musician have you played the saxophone for? And what was like, the best experience that you got out of it?
Oh man, that's a hard question because I had the opportunity to play with a lot of people. Um,
Name them.
okay, so I mentioned Bobby Lau was just amazing uh, in terms of his dexterity and his ability to play. I had the opportunity to play with the late Donald Blackman, who was big in the funk era, but Donald played piano, and it was one of the most amazing piano performances I've ever seen. It was just incredible, you know. Um, Usually, what happens is I leave in awe of of exactly how good these people are. But there are others like Tom Brown. Tom Brown is the legendary trumpeter who took me under his wings a bit and shared a lot about the industry with me and allowed me to do some shows with him and so forth. It kind of helped me, and so I'm really appreciative for people like Tom and people like Norman who helped me, learn the ropes and learn the business. I could say use groove as a thing. I've learned a lot from him as well, so there have been a few. I'm grateful, for the relationships I've been able to have and the people I've been able to meet that have been able to give me some perspective and help me.
Amen. And like it's a blessing when you work with a couple of the big names in the industry. They will give you great advice. They will open doors for you, and they will just say brother, show us what you got.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm grateful. Nothing is ever really handed to you in this business. You really have to make your own way. You got to earn everything, and But I believe, me, what God has for you is for you. And when you try your best to follow God and His plan, you're gonna get what He has for you, and nobody can stop it. And so that's what.
Amen. And what was the first place you performed at live, and how did you feel before getting on stage and after you performed?
Yeah, that's the first place. Well, I tell you what, the first place of note, because you have a lot of little performances when you're coming up, but the first big place I ever performed where I had my knees knocking was the Apollo Theater in Harlem, New York. So I had the opportunity to compete in the amateur night at the Apollo, in the Showtime at the Apollo. I did that 3 times. I won 2 times. And I played original songs, on the sax. And when I went, I didn't expect to win. I mean, there's so many talented people, singers, and they're singing familiar songs. And I went out there with an original song on the sax, and the people just loved it. And I knew then that there's really no explanation. And when God has something for you, it's for you. Because there were certainly, in my eyes, much more talented people there. But when it came time for the applause, I won it twice. So the Apollo Theater was just special.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got to rub
And
the log and meet Kiki Shepard and all of that. Yeah.
and speaking of the Apollo Theater, that's one big place. Like it will allow you to show your talent, have thousands and thousands of people clapping for you once after an amazing performance. It's like, oh my gosh, this brother got it. He should be signed to a record label.
Yeah. Or at the Apollo, you get snatched off, by the Sandman. I was surprised at how big and muscular Sandman really was. I mean, that was a big dude. He would snatch off anybody. So it was a scary thing knowing that, that audience is brutally honest. You know, if you're good,
Yes.
they're with you. But if you're not good, you are out of
You,
there.
you will see thousands and thousands of index fingers going to the left.
Yes, and it happened a lot. You know, so it was
Uh-huh.
absolutely
When Dougie Fresh and Gladys Knight were the host of Apollo, at the Apollo Theater, when they were doing live performances, oh, I was seeing that a whole lot. Like, brother, sister, if you can't sing, don't embarrass yourself on that stage.
no, man, because they're not gonna let you
And
slide, man.
because you want to be you want to leave the stage with good memories, not bad memories, not embarrassing moments.
Hey, it was very nerve wracking. It was a scary thing for real.
Hmm.
You know, but it was really cool. You know,
Hmm.
I got to
Hmm.
meet the late great Biz Markie while I was there. He was hanging out in the green room with us. And so that was a cool experience there too. You know, but that was at the very beginning of my career, and so I believe it was. You know, I'm appreciative that God showed me early on. Hey, man, you know, I got you, and if I want you to succeed, you're gonna succeed. You know, so it was very, it was humbling, and it was just an awesome experience.
Hmm. And speaking of you performing at the Apollo Theater as your first place live, who were the hosts back then?
Back then, it was Mark. Was it Mark Curry? Is that his name?
The comedian,
Yes, the comedian.
tall, slim, brown skinned dude.
That's it. You got it. You got it. Yep. It was back in the day. You know. Yep. And it was the lady down in the front with the Jerry curl, where if she started cheering for you, you were good. You know, once she started cheering for me, everybody else just got on board. It was great.
Hmm. And because they know that, oh, what snap, this brother got it.
I'm glad that they thought so.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, going back onto your songs, please, child, tell us the story about that single.
Okay. So Please Child is a song. It says, Please Child, it's time to exercise what you believe now. What God has for you, it's time to receive. You know, and so that song is really all about, hey, man, step up and be what God created you to be. Get what He has for you. Because I feel like a lot of us, all of us have gifts and talents of some sort, you know, but there's this, we have to buy into ourselves and believe in what He put in us, really, in order to really take the steps and get, you know, like He's waiting for us to believe in what He put in us and really invest in it and really step out there and be it. And that's what that song is about. It's say, hey, please, child, come on. You know, it's time to step up, you know, walk into what God has for you.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And your other single, Overcomer, which features artist Jocelyn Best. Tell us about that artist and how was she featured on that song?
Yeah. So Jocelyn's featured on True Love. True Love is a song she's featured. Actually, Jocelyn's on a lot of my songs. Actually,
But
Jo-
she's featured on Overcomer and True Love, correct?
yeah, True Love. Yeah.
Okay.
Jocelyn Best is an absolutely amazing singer. One of the best I've ever worked with. She's a phenomenal talent. I'm working with her. She is on the Invitation tour with me. You know.
Congratulations to
Yes.
her.
Yes. And so when you see me, you're going to see her, and really, there's no words that can describe how talented she really is. But she's amazing. You know, make sure you come, you know, to one of the dinner concerts. When you see me, you'll be. She's phenomenal.
Mhm. Where is she originally from, Sam?
Jocelyn is from originally Maryland. Um, Silver Spring, somewhere up there in Maryland. You know, is where she's from.
Hmm.
And then you mentioned Overcomer. That song, something interesting about that song that song actually featured my nephew on guitar. He's a 25-year-old
yeah.
guitar player. It also featured my longtime friend and band member named Johnny Listo, who was a guitar player. So I had two different guitar players on the same song. And long story short, before the song was released, actually when we recorded the song, I felt like the song needed to be called Overcomer to help people overcome, tough situations. Well, before the song was released, Johnny and Justin, my nephew and friend, both died in the same week.
Oh yeah, because when I saw that the video at the end, I see like people people who are passed away, and
Yeah.
And those are the people who really meant a lot to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things I talk about is how thankful I am that I had the opportunity to record those guys, and their spirit lives on, the music lives on through the recordings, and when I wrote the song and named it Overcomer, I didn't know that it was me that would need to overcome. But
We all need to overcome. We need to overcome our past. We need to overcome bad habits. We need to overcome everything that's not that's weighing on us.
that's right.
That's not good energy.
That's right.
That's not going to lead us to the right path.
That's right. That's right, man. And life is definitely a roller coaster. Challenges are a part of it. It's ups and it's downs. But we need to know that when we get in position, that we are overcome, and we can overcome those tough times.
Mhm. And speaking of Jocelyn Best, when I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, she is just like bright. I just love her sense of fashion. She looks like somebody who's well brought up, who will light up a room when she walks in, and who's all about positive vibes, excellent energy.
Man, listen, let me tell you this. Y'all look out for Jocelyn Best. Follow me, okay? Because what I'm doing is all help with Jocelyn get herself in a position where she's a household name, because she absolutely deserves to be. She lights up a room. She lights up a performance stage. She absolutely brings the roof down. She's a phenomenal performer, very seasoned and engaging performer, and just one of the greatest vocalists that I had the pleasure of working with. And by the way, I have a phenomenal band, and my singers, they're all, the best. And I really appreciate all of them.
Mhm. And your album Redemption, what year did you release it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Redemption was released in 2018. 2018. We ran a few singles from that album. Ran for a couple years actually. Did really well. You hear Jocelyn on that. That's the album with True Love and Overcomer on it. It did well. As a matter of fact, the title single was called Redemption, the title song. That made the Billboard Top 30 as well. Redemption was great.
Yeah.
And,
And
and in the dinner concert, when I do my shows, I'm doing songs. I only do songs off of my. So, you're getting songs off of those albums, but also here's the other special thing, and the reason why you got to come to the concerts is because I'm also playing songs off of my new album, which is not released yet. But people that come to the dinner concerts get to hear those songs before they're released. So that's the thing too.
When will this album be released, Sam?
I'm thinking fall. We had planned for like a September release, but I'll keep you updated.
Okay.
We're getting ready to single, and it might be maybe October. I have to push
Yes. I was about to say I'm assuming October.
Yeah, push it back. Probably why not pushing it back to October?
Hmm. Oh yeah, most definitely. And speaking of dinner concerts, do you enjoy cooking?
Yes, but I don't like cleaning up, and that's a problem. So
I mean, you gotta clean up after yourself. You gotta stay clean. You don't want to leave a dirty kitchen or dining table.
exactly, exactly. And that's the reason why earlier today a freshly box showed up at my door, okay? So that I could eat the pre-prepared meals, you know. I do like cooking, but you know, my repertoire is very, very narrow. You know, I'm good on the grill. Now,
Hmm.
I can grill, but you know, I try to stick to dishes that have three or less ingredients.
Hmm. Yeah. What are your favorite plates, Sam?
Oh man, my favorite thing to eat. You know what? I like honestly, man, I have to say fish is my favorite dish. You know, like
Oh,
I'll eat,
and let me tell you something. Speaking of fish, I had myself some fried fish yesterday, along with barbecue chicken and yellow rice.
you
That
see,
fish hit the spot.
that is my favorite. What you just named. You know,
Fried
that means
fish.
great. I love fish. I love rice, and you can never go wrong with barbecue chicken. So those are definitely three
Mhm.
of my favorites. You know, seafood.
Mhm.
You know, I love it, and I love rice too.
Mhm. Mhm. I love me some seafood salad. And speaking of fried fish, will you, has the time goes by, do you will you like to perform at a fish fry?
Man, you know what? It's funny that you asked that. Okay. So, you know, the Imposition Dinner Tour, the dinner concert tour, is with Chef Asar and myself. But there's one spot, there's one show where I'm not doing it with him. I'm doing it at a historic place in Newport News called the Train Station. And they got some of the best fried fish you will ever have. You know, fried
Hmm.
fish, fried shrimp, crab cakes, you know. It's a seafood
Hmm.
place, and so that's the one place where I'm doing the show uh,
Hmm.
without Asar. But it's because that fried food they got in there, and then they hit it with some macaroni and cheese and some peach cobbler for dessert. I'm telling you,
Have you ever had lobster mac and cheese, baked lobster mac and cheese? Oh
absolutely,
Lord,
absolutely,
heaven, the gates of heaven will open up for you.
absolutely, absolutely.
Uh-huh. And I like myself some crab. I don't like crab legs because it's like it barely has meat in it, and you would just spend your entire time like cracking the shells. No, I like meat,
Yeah,
like meat inside, like lobster tails with baked mac and cheese on the side, asparagus.
yeah. That's perfect, man. That's my favorite meal. I love you. You making me hungry. You gonna mess me up? I'm gonna wind up going out to dinner. Okay.
No, you making me hungry, Sam. You bringing up this dinner concert, and I gotta ask you questions about it.
Oh man, that's funny.
Uh-huh. Okay, before I let you go, you put out a single on it, and it was originally sang by Frankie Beverly and Maze. Have you ever performed at their live shows playing the saxophone?
You mean with Frankie Beverly and Maze?
Yes.
No, no, I've not had that opportunity. That would be really cool though, you know. Uh-uh. But you know, so not for Before I Let Go, with Frankie Beverly, but another cover song that I did was "You Are My Starship," which is Norman Connor's biggest hit, and so I have performed that with him several times. I did get a chance to do that, and that was really cool. Um, but now I haven't had a chance to do Frankie's song with him. That's one to look forward to.
Hmm. Yeah. Have you ever met Frankie Beverly and Maze?
No, I haven't. I haven't. It's yet to come. It's coming.
Okay.
But I met,
And
you know, Gene Carn, um, Howard Hewitt, of course. You know, a number, uh, you know,
mhm,
legendary singers.
mhm. Howard Hewitt is very humble.
Yeah, yeah. Allison Williams is amazing too. You know.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's amazing.
Yeah. I got a chance to work with her. She's on the Tell You Something album. As a matter of fact, she's on Before I Let Go. You mentioned Before I Let Go. The female vocals on there, that's Allison Williams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, wow. Tell us about your experience working with her and having her in that song.
It's amazing. So it's one of the things I learned from Norman was how important it is and how big the difference is when you have people really the best at what they do in the studio, you know, because when you get them in there and when you get them together, they can do something magic. You know, they can make magic. You know, it's like Michael Jordan. You know, there's a lot of ball players in the NBA, but Michael Jordan had a talent that was at a level where he could do things up. And it's like that with music. You know, have somebody like Allison Williams, or we were talking about Jocelyn, her too. You know, where when you get them in the booth, you don't have to explain parts. You don't have to. You don't. There's not a lot of correction. It's more so collaborative, creative vibing. You know what I'm saying? And because they're able to come up with stuff and sing things in a way that you might not have heard it, but it's better than what you thought. You know, and so it's really an amazing collaborative experience to work with somebody on her level.
Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely. And I see that you performed at a place at an event with kids. Is How was that experience like with you?
Oh, you know,
Like for you?
I, I
Hmm.
love uh, I love I love doing things with kids.
Yeah.
I believe that it's all about exposure. You know,
Hmm.
I'm grateful that I was exposed at a young age. And when I was when I was in elementary school and started to play sax, I was really bad. You know, we had a test on Mary Had a Little Lamb and I failed it. And so I quit the band. But my dad rented the home and it was a 1-year contract and he didn't want me to quit the contract. So he made me take private lessons. And that teacher that I had when I was 11 years old was the biggest influence. He's the reason I play now. Because as a child, his influence was so great and he saw potential and he worked with me. He got me to a place where, the rest is history. And so I'm very, very conscious of, at a young age, being able to kids and say, hey, you can do this. This can be something that'll blow your mind. So I love working with kids in
Yeah.
different capacities.
Uh-huh. And for me, it's very important to work with kids because when they see adults like us, they're happy, and you see you will see different facial expressions. You will see a serious face. You will see a happy face. Kids react when they meet somebody new, when they see somebody new,
Yeah,
and the other reason why it's important to work with kids because they listen to every word, they
yeah,
see things, so as they are growing, they will pick what they want to be in life. They will
yeah,
pick what they want to accomplish.
yeah, yeah.
I
And,
mean,
and
they will understand the concept of music.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the reality is that a lot of us, when we're kids, the dreams and the special abilities that we have often get squashed by people who don't encourage it or people who don't, you know,
Mhm.
believe that we'll be anything. Like we're discouraged most at that stage. So anything we can do to encourage them to say, hey, you can be great. You can do it. It's not just for the people you hear on the radio, for you, and to give them that inspiration and that encouragement to believe in themselves, believe that the dream is actually for them, it's for them to have. That is a big thing, man, because they're always told, go to school, get a job, go to school, get a job, go to school,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Uh-huh.
That's,
Go to school, stay focused, keep your head up, like Tupac said.
yep, yep. But sometimes they need to be told, hey, look, you can do amazing. that nobody else has done, you know. And so it's always great to encourage the
Uh-huh. It's like, when somebody special, like, come in a daycare, come in a classroom in the elementary school and speak to the children. It's like, questions are being asked to them is that, do you like school? What do you want to be when you grow up? It's like some they say they want to be a scientist, which was actually like what I wanted to be when I was a child, because my favorite show growing up was the Discovery Channel, because I love animals. It's like, and when I was little, when I was watching the Discovery Channel, I would see, like, how animals act,
Yeah.
how animals look, how they react, how their behavior towards one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on that. I love Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, all that,
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. It's like, questions are being asked to the kids. What do you want to be when you grow up? Is either they say a scientist,
Yeah.
a teacher, an actor, a singer, a rapper, a producer, an engineer, an astronaut, and so on.
Yeah, and and what we have seen in our own lifetimes is that when a little black child says they want to be president, it's not an automatic no anymore. Like, when we were children, it was
Uh-huh. Look at Barack Obama. He said when he was a child that he wanted to be the president of the United States, and people laughed at him like, really, dude?
yeah.
President?
That's what we
President?
got. That's what
Look,
we got when I
8
was
years
little.
he was in office. He accomplished 8 years in the White House.
Yep, yep. And now you got Kamala. We got the Supreme Court justice, and so it's important that we show the kids, especially our young black kids, that hey, listen, you can be these things. You can be these in these great positions.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you were in front of the children, Sam, is that what you did? You asked them what do they want to be when they grow up, or what were your words to them?
Well, when I'm in front of the children, we talking a lot about music, and I'm exposing them to the different horns. Like I'll take all of my horns, so they see all the horns and different instruments, and we talk about music and how it makes you feel, and try to see the connection between music and expression, like as an avenue, as a channel for them to be able to express themselves,
Mm-hmm.
to help them see that connection so that they can, you know, grow closer, to music and see it as something that they can use to express them and their feelings.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course,
Yes.
I always got to get them to do some demonstrating too. Give them a chance to
Uh-huh.
sing, give them a chance to sing, a chance,
Yeah.
do some things. And sometimes you stumble upon some ones that can really sing or really rap or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. To see, like, a young child before 10, like, singing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's a blessing. You already know that child is going to be a star. And like, when you in front of the kids and like, when you ask them like who wants to demonstrate to me what instrument this is, you would just have that kid that would be like
Yep.
you would just like, and you have such shy children and like I mean, like, many of them they do that.
Yep. 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 But
And that means they really want to learn. They really want to demonstrate.
yep. Sometimes it's the shy ones too, though. The shy one that's not saying nothing, that really is the one that that blows your mind when they come out the shell,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No, but it's awesome. I love it,
Mm-hmm. And will you ever teach a saxophone class, Sam?
Man, so I would say no. So
Why?
I have had some students in the past, like I've taught a couple of adults and a couple of kids for a little while, but really just not, it's not my thing, man. I want to be in the studio writing music, producing music. I'm a studio guy. patient pet. That's not for me. You know,
Yeah.
I know people that are really gifted at that, do that really well,
Uh-huh.
love it, you know, but that's not
Yeah.
me.
Mhm. Back when I was in high school, I took a guitar class, and like I had like best memories of it. I was like playing this slow at first, and like I was just like picturing myself like playing the guitar, singing.
Yeah.
And the guitar is another instrument that gives you that mellow feeling, like when it's being played.
Yep. You had you probably had a really good teacher, right?
Yeah, he was very like soft spoken too, and he had a lot of patience.
What that's the
And,
things you
and he
have,
didn't yell.
that's what you gotta have with kids. You gotta have a lot of patience.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Because they're always like, kids are different. There's one there are the quiet ones, there are the loud ones, there are the serious ones,
Yeah.
there were but there are the ones that be like, oh, it's like, why you pick her? Why you pick him? It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, you know, I like my time in the studio, and you know, now
Hmm.
I like having some. You know, there's been a number of artists and younger guys that I'll work with in the studio and teach them, and you know, help train them up in the studio, develop as art. I really enjoy that. You know, that's a little
Hmm.
it's a nostalgia. It's more mentorship. I really
Yeah.
enjoy that. I really enjoy that. But giving private lessons,
Hmm. Yeah. And your other album, Heat from the Heavens, what's the purpose of that title of the album?
oh man. So Heat from the Heavens was my first solo album. I released that in 2011, and those songs I had been working on for years before that. So really, you know, my first solo album where I was the artist. I'd done a lot of albums before that, CDs before that, where I produced other people, but that was my first, you know, Sam Rucker CD as an artist. And the title of that, Heat from the Heavens, is all about, when you listen to that album, you hear a lot of the hip hop, you know, very hip hop style beats and so forth. Um, So, you know, when the music is hot, it's heat, you know, it's heat, right?
Yeah.
But I know where my gift comes from, and that is from above. That is from the Lord. That's from God. And so
Yeah.
it comes from the heaven.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, this is heat from that, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. If he sees you that, you working hard and you being consistent, he will reward you. He say that, oh my gosh, this man is working hard. I'm gonna shower him with blessings.
Yeah, you know, I'm thankful, you know. Couldn't do it,
Hmm.
you know. And you know what I try to do
Hmm.
with my music, even then and now still, is really just share that experience with other people. That, hey, you know,
Hmm.
God, who won't let you down, who has a plan, and who won't hold good things from you, who will give you the answer to the questions that you have, and give you the guidance when you're trying to find a way. You know, it can be that bridge over troubled water. It can be everything. And you know, when you experience that, it's hard to not to have a platform and then not want to share that over.
Hmm.
And so that's really what it is for me. I couldn't do this and not share, because it's been so great for me. You know, he's been so great for me. So I have to share, you know, through my music.
Yes.
So the title
Hmm.
CDs, the titles of the songs are all, you know, in that thing.
Yes, amen. And like, when you speak of heat, that means blessings. It's like, you feel it, and like, it makes you hot that my gosh, like, a lot of doors are opening for me. My singles are rising to the top of the charts. They calling me, they booking me to perform at shows, to come in the studio, to produce more hits.
Yeah.
That's the heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's from the man above.
That's right. Heat from the heavens. You got it.
Mhm. Yep, yep. And and the other saxophonist, famous saxophonist, and it was sometime I think back in May or last month I had Nige, who is a famous saxophonist. Do you look up to saxophonists like Nige and Gerald Albright?
What? Yeah, absolutely. Man, listen, guys, Najee, Gerald Albright, David Sanborn, Grover Washington, those guys are like the reason I play, because, when I was younger, and learning to play and learn to play, like you hear how a saxophone could sound, you know, like because when you're starting out and when you're young, your horn sounds hard, you know. But when you hear those guys and the way they take songs and make the horn sing, I remember Najee when he released his version of "Sweet Love," the Anita Baker song. He had a version of "Sweet Love" that is just amazing, and to hear the horn singing like that, it absolutely a big influence on me. And yeah, absolutely up to all of those guys, man, for sure. Kirk Whalum,
Kudos to them.
guys.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oof. Yep. So say something to the people on here, Sam Rucker.
All right, all right. Well, y'all can all need to go to rucker.com. Take a look at the schedule, check back on a weekly basis, and look for that dinner concert tour to come to an area, a city near you. Doing that, I'm telling you, it's a unique experience. It's not anything you've been to before. I want you to put my name in, Sam Rucker, wherever you listen to your music, wherever you stream your music, put me in, add me to your playlist. And most of all, know that there is a way for you to get your life in position, to get yourself in position
Yes.
to live the best life where you can be an
His music tells it all, people.
Music tells it all. There is a way to get yourself in position. And so you come to the concert, I'll tell you how.
Yep. Yep. All right. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining my podcast this evening. It was more than a blessing. You stay cool. You stay safe. Just keep on praying to God. Just keep on being consistent. Just keep on working on those new singles. Put out as many albums as possible.
There you go. I thank you so much, Miriam. I appreciate it. God bless you.
No problem. God bless you more,
Later,
Sam.
Thank you.
No problem.